You are listening to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where illumination and inspiration is but a click away. With so many genre topics for you on everything that you need to know in life. We celebrate and share the people who have taken the journey before you and who are now here to serve you with their wisdom and their knowledge. The next show coming up is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Ignite Your Heart and Soul, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sara Troy, and my guest is Selene Calloni Williams. She's the Mother Mantra. She has a degree in psychology, a master's in screenwriting. She's authored several international best-selling books and documentaries on psychology, deep ecology, shamanism, yoga, psychotherapy, anthropology, Buddhist meditation. Oh my goodness, what hasn't she done? It is quite amazing when you look at her, because she looks so young, how she's managed to fit this all in her life. But clearly this was something that called her, and she has spread her wings. She's ignited our own heart and soul, and she's here to help us how to step into our mother mantra, the shamanic way of living, and how that peace that we all seek that is kind of eluding us, it's right there, but it's an inside out job. So let's welcome Selene, and in our self-discovery of who she is, we can discover a lot about ourselves. So welcome to the show, Selene.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to you for having me.
Wonderful. We don't have a brilliant connection today because she's in a hotel. She's traveling right now, doing her thing. So we pray to the internet gods that we're going to have a smooth ride. How did somebody so young manage to get so much under her belt? When did you start? The moment you were born? Do we have you?
I'm not so young.
Well, you look it.
I started when I was... Oh, thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I started when I was very young, because when I was only 19, I went to Sri Lanka. I left Europe. I went to Sri Lanka. And I met my shamanic yoga teacher, Michael, who, despite his English name, was very far from being British. He had been adopted by 3 different families, and he had run away from all of them within a few years. And when I met him, he was with an eagle, and it was a reunion, because the first time he saw me, he said, "It's a pleasure to meet you again." And then when he left his body, I came back in Europe, and I got my degree in psychology. And then I met a famous psychoanalyst, James Silman, was the father of the archetypal psychology when he was working in my country, Switzerland. And archetypal psychology and imaginal method are, for me, very useful tools to build a bridge between Eastern and Western vision. And this is very useful for me, because I also practice Buddhist meditation. When I was in Sri Lanka, I entered a so-called forest hermitage or a jungle temple, and I stayed for 6 years there, practicing meditation and studying Buddhism.
So something that it really has to have been very much a calling within you, to take this path. A lot of people are waking up, to that soul connection, to that spirit. And it's wonderful to see, because that is where we're meant to be. But for you, it sounds like it was a calling very, very young, and you really delved right into it. The path that it's taken you on, though, that's been interesting. You have written many, many books. And you're here to, I think, ignite that spirit in other people, because really that shamanic way of living, that harmony that we find within ourselves, is really something that is done almost quietly, isn't it? It's finding the peace within ourselves, we have to be peaceful. We have to be calm. Have you found, especially in Western society, that this is a struggle?
Yes, yes. Western society makes people being full of attachments and fears, because life in Western society is not more natural, is far away from nature. And being far away from nature, we we lost our greatest teacher,
Mm-hmm.
which is nature itself, you see, and beauty. And so you see, we have lost the sense of sacredness. And yes, losing the sense of sacredness has made us full of fears, because um, sacredness help us um, to have a continuity between life visible and invisible, a continuity of awareness. If we lose the sense of sacredness, we lose this continuity, and we down in the pit of fear and attachments, because fear and attachments are the same reality, and this reality creates a lot of anxiety and pain. You see, according to Buddhism, according to shamanism, and according to depth psychology, like imaginal psychology, we live in a universe that is not substantial. I mean, it's not made but by its own substance. It is imaginal, it is an apparition, a dream, a projection. We say a great image. But if we think reality is substantial, if we believe in objectivity of things, in materialism, then we become victims of events. You see, we are not the dreamers of the dream. We are not more longer the creator, the co-creator of our reality, but we end up to be victims of all events. You see, for ancients, events were gods and goddesses. For a psychoanalyst, are archetypes. For shamans, are spirits. But for individuals in Western society, events are caused by a mechanical law of cause and effect, which is not the law of karma, because the law of karma is the law of action and reaction, and it is on a poetic, aesthetic basis. The logical, the mental law of cause and effect is a mechanical law which gives us the impression that events are not dependent, they don't depend from our ability to create them, to imagine them, to dream them. And so we end up to being victim of our own events. And we lose the ability to talk to the events, which are entities, spirits, gods, goddess. You see, we want to control event, but we lose the ability to talk to them.
Yeah. I think very much that we're so trapped in the physical, the body, and what the body needs, and the image and the ego and the self-importance of the vessel, that we forget about the vessel is here to contain. It is here as an expression of our heart, our soul, our spirit. It is something that is a gift to allow us to touch, to feel, to taste, to take action. Because when you look at the universe, it's all energy. All that cosmic is energy. It's not tangible. It's a frequency. This vessel that we're in is a beautiful gift, but we forget how to use it. We don't, as you say, that continuity of merging with nature, with merging with the energies, with merging with each other's energies. We become this fixation on how we look, on how we present ourselves, and how rich are we, how important are we, how secure are we. And that is what really builds up the insecurity and the fear and the ego-driven, is this false illusion of our own self-importance, because we're looking on the outside and not on the inside.
Oh, yes, it's true. I remember my shamanic yoga teacher always said, we don't only have two eyes looking outward, we also have two eyes looking inwards. And in order to open the inward looking eyes, we have to go beyond mental judgment and using the power of inclusiveness.
Yes.
You see, being able to include beyond mental judgment is what I call doing an aesthetic and also an ecstatic experience of life, which is amazing, is marvelous,
yes.
is great, is full of joy and pleasure, as nature is, because nature is an aesthetic experience, not a moralistic or ethic experience. Nature is beauty, and beauty doesn't have an opposite. Ugliness doesn't exist in nature, you see.
Yes, yes.
Only the human mind separates.
I know, but do you think this is because we are thinking all the time and not feeling? You know, if we felt with the heart and the heart energy, we would feel the beauty in everything. We would see the beauty from our feelings, but we think it from expectation of what beauty is. And therefore we miss the beauty that is before us because somebody has dictated what it should look like as opposed to the beauty that it is.
Yes, human beings are using their mind because they want to have control. They want to have a power upon nature, upon events. But every one of us can always choose love. Even if we are in civilization that had chosen power and control, every one of us can always choose love and can always reawaken the ability to talk with the invisibility, to talk to spirits, to talk to events, and not only try to control the events and reality. You see, I think everyone can reach a supramental vision, an overmind, where the thought of the mind and the thought of the heart are unite together. You see,
in sync with one another. Yes,
of course.
Yes,
sync.
Yeah,
beautiful expression, in sync. Yes.
I mean, the thing about nature, and you know, humans are 0.1 species on this planet. We're the most destructive. We consider ourselves to be the most superior. Yet, you know, we've got a long way to go, because when you look at how nature works, it's such a brilliant system of support, and that there is nothing wasted. Every single thing has a purpose. And I think one of the problems with humanity is they're so busy chasing the illusion that they forget what their purpose is. And that's what we're here for, isn't it? To discover what is our meaningful purpose. What is our contribution? Because that's what it's about. What's your contribution to the collective whole here?
Of course, this is very beautiful. What you said is very beautiful. I believe we are here at the end of a great evolutionary chain to protect and serve and help other creatures, not to depredate and you see, but we have to melt fears and attachments. Otherwise, if we are full of fears, of course we depredate and we destroy nature. We have to melt fear and remember who we are. We are the protectors. We are the guardians of the other creatures, of nature. And so
we need to do a better job.
Absolutely need to remember who we are and accomplish the mission of our soul.
Yes. What is our mission here? We've got into this thing that the world owes us, and we have a right. And no, we are here as a collective. And as that collective, you know, it's like every single cell in our body is important to the whole of us. And we have to look at ourselves as a cell, as a seed, as a particle that, again, is a contributor, that is something that participates and that enhances the well-being of each other and of this planet. We are such incredible creatures. We have so much talent, so much creativity, so much heart, if we choose to feed that. And it's a question of turning away from the fear and the hate and the delusionment into merging in sync with nature, with the cosmos, and understanding that we are a part of this energy. And if we go with this energy, we all become so much better. Universe, planet, all life forms. But it's the choice that we have to make. We've stopped chasing out and start looking in. Do you think the archetype type personalities, that there are some that are prone to that, and that's a no-brainer, like yourself, this was the path you wanted to go down, and that there are some people that just can't help but feed the other?
I think everyone can help, but we as a species, we have to change our thinking method. And the best way to change the thinking method from a shamanic perspective is to die and then be born again. Cross the great threshold and come back.
Yes.
And this is the shamanic journey. You see, the great threshold can be crossed in two directions, from life to death and from life to the time before birth. And you see, if we cross the great threshold from life to the time before birth, we discover that all life, the entire reality, is just an image, a great image, which is simultaneously, which happens now, always right now. And this image has a function, a purpose, and this purpose is remember us that we are loved, and awaken our loving power, you see, because we all come from a wonderful land, from a wonderful place where everything is love, and we have absolutely to remember our house. We have to remember where we come from.
Yeah.
And all reality, all our life is a great image that has the purpose to melt our attachments and fears, which are obstacles for us to remember who we are and where we come from, to remember love, you see. So we have to melt obstacles to remember love.
You see, we're born with that love, aren't we? We're you know, when we come out, we don't come out with judgment or illusion or you know, expectation. We just come out as this bundle of love. And you know, you saw the kitten that I had here a moment ago. All she wants to do is just love and please and play. We, through our conditioning, change that. We are meant to be that love. Love is who we are. Love is the vibration that we need to resonate on. Love is what makes things grow and unite. Why do we fear love so much? Why do we forget it? Because it's there in us as a child, in that wonderment, in that exploration, in that simple love of being in the moment. And then we grow up and somehow love becomes a bad 4-letter word.
We forgot because we choose power and control. You see, in front on an event, we always have two possibilities. Try to control it, try to have a power upon it, or just feel it as a spirit, as a god or goddesses, as the ancients said, and talk to the presence, feel that all events are soul and have a spirit, and talk to the spirit and ask him or ask it, why are you here? Please help me. Please help open my door, open my road. You see, even if the event is unpleasant, we have not to judge it from the beginning through our mind. We have to try to include it and to feel that this event is an archetype. I mean, is an image, and as image is an entity, a spirit. You see, the ancient Greeks used a word to define an image, event. And this word was eidolon. Eidolon means both image and God or goddesses, because it is a simulacrum, an image of God. Mm-hmm. So an event is always an image of God. And even it looks unpleasant to our ego, we have to try to trust it before to judge it.
Yeah.
And talk to the soul of the event. Ask it, why you are here? Please help me to see what I can't see. Please help my door. Please show me the road.
What am I meant to learn from this?
Love.
Yeah, what am I meant to learn from this event, this experience? Everything that's given to us is a lesson. or it's a tool, or it's an understanding of how courageous and strong we can be, how there is always an answer, but we don't find it if we're in ego or in chaos or in fear.
Exactly.
We only find it when
Exactly.
we
And talk to
allow.
event.
Yes,
Try to.
it is about surrendering and allowing, isn't it? If we go into fear and anxiety,
Oh,
or why is this happening to me, you're not going to learn from it. You're not going to see what lessons are there. You're not going to find out how strong and courageous you are. And you're not going to go, okay, all right, this has happened. What does it mean to me? What can I do about it? We have to sometimes just surrender and allow, because when we do that, the answer comes. It is shown to us. But if we're in anxiety, we can't see anything. The blinkers go on. We can't see anything. We can't feel anything. The answer's right in front of you, but you're so anxious that you can't embrace it.
exactly. I perfectly agree. And this is exactly what I wanted to say when I said we have to bring back the sense of sacredness
Yes.
in our life. To be in the sacredness means being able to see that all events have a soul, and we can we can deeply trust the soul of events. Even our mind and our ego doesn't want this event happen.
Yes.
You see, but we can always trust. Faith and love. Faith and love are two faces of the same reality. And faith, love, faith, which is one only word for me. Faith, love, faith is the greatest power. With it, we came in this world, and we have to use it. We have to reawaken it and use the power of faith and love. We must trust events. We must love events. Even to our mind and to our ego, they seem to be ugly or unpleasant or even terrifying. We have to trust them, because all events have a soul, and this soul is meant to
Experience
to
it.
accompany us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, to accompany us to freedom.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to get through life without some bumps or, some grinds. And, you talk about faith and love, one of your books. The thing about faith and love, it literally resonates at a higher frequency, at a higher hertz. And when you're up on that higher vibration, you're in a place of enlightenment, of enlightenment. And everything then becomes, okay, this is happening. But I'm not going to get stressed up about it, because I trust the faith and the love of what I need to learn from this and where it's taking me.
Perfect. I completely agree. You are absolutely right. This is the power we need. We need the power to have faith in the events. Because you see, this great image, which is our life, is created in a creative union between human and divine. And so all the moments of our life have in mind the signature of the divine. You see,
the signature of the divine
everywhere, in all the apparitions of our life. Because yes, the presence of the divine, because all reality is a creation made by, or through a creative union, a love union between human and divine. And so all events have inside the presence of the divine. And this is why we have to trust all the events, every single event of our life, even it appears uncomfortable to our mind and our ego. We have to trust it because the presence of the divine is everywhere.
Right. Yes, you know, it's the people that I mostly interview here on Self-Discovery Media are people that have gone through what I call their redirect. You know, they've had something happen to them. Maybe it's catastrophic, maybe it's just simple, a tap on the shoulder, and they've redirected to their meaningful purpose, but they were willing to go through the process, to go into their own self-discovery of what does this mean, where am I meant to be, and again have allowed themselves to go through the process. It doesn't mean it wasn't painful or that it wasn't really difficult, but every single one of them, no matter what they've been through, who they've become today, the message that they have today, the contribution that they have today is literally divine, because they were willing to go through the event, through the process, to become the divine presence that they were always meant to be.
Exactly. In the Mother Mantra tradition, which is the core of shamanic yoga, it's known a condition called mystical marriage. When someone is in the mystical marriage, is fully aware of the union with the divine. And this is a marvelous condition because you see, in the mystical marriage, you understand the deep sense of the state of non-duality.
Mm-hmm.
Non-duality is the state in which human and divine are distinct but not separate, because they are in love in each other. You see, love requires the number two, because we need to be two to love. But because the two elements love each other continuously, in truth, they are one. They are two in one. And, or better, they are three in one. Because the two lovers, by giving one to the other, always create a new manifestation.
Yes.
So the magic formula of non-duality is 3-1. And this is the Trinity, which is everywhere in nature.
Yes.
This is the natural condition of a tree, of an eagle, of a wolf. Is everywhere. The Trinity is the natural condition in which every one of us can be by entering the mystical marriage, which is a highly creative condition, you see, because when you are in the mystical marriage, you are in a creative union with great ideas, which are ideas are gods and goddesses. They are not a product of our brain.
No.
The great ideas are gods, goddesses.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, they are not products of our brain.
Right.
Being in union with the divine, you are in union with the greatest idea, and you are in a creative condition. You see, when you are in union with your mind knows.
Right.
Oh my God, you are in a depressed condition because you can't create. You can always repeat yourself. You can always only repeat what is known. This is not a condition of joy. This is the condition of suffering and boring. So we should be creative. And to
Yes.
be creative, we must be in union with the invisibility,
Right.
with the divine.
Yes. It's you, me equals us. And that tripod always has more sure footing and balance than just two. And you know, the knowingness, this is something that for me has always been very important. You know, when we talk a gut instinct, I don't know, just my gut tells me so. I think that there's the divine speaking to our souls, which then resonates with our heart and truth. It speaks to our spirit into action, and our mind knows what it needs to know at the moment that it needs to know it. It's in the now, it is the knowingness. Again, we have to allow that soul divine voice to come to resonate to the heart, to go to the spirit, to speak to the mind. If we always dictate from the mind, we're going to miss all those other messages. So the knowingness is in, again, the surrender and allowing the divine to connect us, to unite us, to speak to us. And then our minds actually understand. Look at creative people like Leonardo da Vinci, Tesla, Einstein. These are people that were given knowledge so utterly supreme, but they had enough intellect to know what to do with it, to open up those channels and build the vision that they were given. They didn't let their ego get in the way. Maybe Einstein didn't let the ego get in the way. They just followed through with what they were given. And that's what we're here to do, right? Open up those channels, allow it to come through, and in that moment of knowingness, just be.
Yes, I perfectly agree with you. Even a scientist, when discovering something important, they have to surrender to something mysterious, surrender to the divine, and give up what is. Otherwise, they can't go any further.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Yes.
Yeah. Don't let the intellect, the ego intellect, get in the way of the divine intellect, because the divine intellect is always more supreme. So tell me about the Mother Mantra. This is a new book?
Yes. Yes, the Mother Mantra, the Ancient Shamanic Yoga of Non-Duality, is my book, which has been translated and published in US by Inner Traditions. And it's a very esoteric book, but at the same time is a simple book full of practices and spiritual exercises that a reader can do without a great effort, but with a great result. And there are healing practices that can be done in a state of ecstasy. Entering the state of ecstasy through the Mother Mantra, which is a vibration, a deep vibration, is very easy and safe. And in this state are known many healing practices that are described in the Mother Mantra book, healing practices for our soul, for our mind, for our body. And also there are exercises for the body in order to keep ourselves healthy and balanced. And you see, in the Mother Mantra tradition are known a lot of mantras, which are vibrations, and every vibration has its own purpose. There is, for instance, the mantra for realizing the mystical marriage, which is called mystical marriage mantra. There is a mantra to reach abundance, because abundance is a natural power everywhere. It is everywhere in nature. Nature is abundance, fertility, creativity, and in the Mother Mantra tradition is known a mantra, a vibration to join, to reach this state of being really natural. And also we have a mantra to withdraw, absorb reality. We see,
sorry, could you repeat that, please, love?
we said that everything in this world.
Can you just
yes,
you had
there
a
is a mantra.
Yeah,
Yes.
repeat it.
There is a mantra to withdraw projection or reabsorb reality. We have said that reality is actually an apparition, a projection, an image. And withdrawal projection or reabsorb reality means taking all those objects, people, and places or events that we have ever met in the course of our life back to their original state, which is indeed image, dream, projection, you see. And so get rid of the appearance of objectivity and materialism, which make us of event, even than their creators or lovers. So another mantra is for image pacification. What's image pacification is in the shamanic? You see, all our events, all our memories are images. And these images should be pacified. That means we have to change the relationship with them. If something happened in our past and we continue to judge it, we still continue to feed our fear, our anger, our revenge. But if we can pacify the image of the past by saying to the image, okay, I bless you. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you were terrible to my mind, if you appear terrible to my mind. Now I'm able to bless you, and I want to bless you. Now I want to thank you. Now I can forgive you. Now I can even love you. I can even try you. I recognize in you the presence of the divine. And so by blessing, thanks, forgive, love, and trust the past events, we can pacify all the spirits, all the images of our past, and we can change our future. We can create a best future for us and for the planet. You see, the art of image pacification is a very important shamanic art. And this can be done using a mantra, because sometimes people carry within inside, people sometimes carry inside images or memories really um, really
Carry pain.
uncomfortable,
Yeah.
full
Mm-hmm.
of pain and suffering. And so it's not easy to pacify them. But by using the mantra of image pacification, every image can be pacified. And you see, all the images that we can't pacify are like angry ghosts, but, but are following us. You see, they follow us and they scare us. Able to purify all the images of the past is so important for every one of us. And this Shamanic art, which everyone can learn and practice.
Mm. You know, like a past image, a past pain or event can become a bully in your life. If you don't face the bully, it is always going to be there to terrorize you. So it is something that we have to be willing to do, to face it, because that's the only way you're going to overcome it or get through it. The other thing, I think, big word that we're looking at here is communication, is communicating with the pain, communicating with the fear, communicating with the hate, the insecurity, and asking, why do you feel this way? What can I do to heal you, to help you move forward? If we look again at nature, the trees have a phenomenal matrix where they feed each other, they support each other, they're constantly in communication. You look at all of the energy matrices in the world, they're always connecting and supporting one another. We seem to be the only species that has difficulty in doing that. But that communication of facing life and go, I'm carrying this pain, I'm carrying this anger, why? I need to turn around and face it and communicate. What can I do to heal you? What can I do to stop the bullying or stop the nagging or stop the repetitiveness and step into that higher vibrational love? Because until you're willing to do that, there is no moving forward. And finding the mantras that are going to help you do that, because a mantra is a vibration. It is a repetitive, beautiful vibration that's going to set you up on a higher plane. And the higher you go, the more energy you have to face the demons, to face the past. So by doing the mantras, you've stepped into something that becomes rhythmical and consistent and has an energy all of its own. And you find that it actually penetrates right through your whole psyche and your body. And all of a sudden, the courage to face things is so much more. So that's why mantras are so important in helping us overcome, but also embrace the unknown of what lies before us.
Exactly, exactly. Exactly like that. A mantra is a vibration which can communicate with the which is vibrational consciousness.
Can we
And
communicate with the
mantra
consciousness?
can, a mantra is a vibration, and through a mantra we can communicate with the so-called mind of the self, which is a vibrational consciousness. We can enter this consciousness and we can change the programming,
Mm-hmm.
because by going through the process of education, we had gone through a massive process of conditioning.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
And it's,
we have to get rid of it.
yes,
And
recondition. Yes.
a mantra is a powerful tool
Yeah.
in order to do that.
The other thing about a mantra as well is that it's repetitive. And we know that in order to delete one program condition, you have to replace it with a new condition, with a new program. So with the mantra always being repetitive and repetitive on the vibration and the repetitive, it goes into the mind and changes the programming, but it also changes the programming throughout the body, right? It's changing the energy signature throughout the body. And all of a sudden, what used to bother you doesn't bother you anymore because you've been reprogrammed. And that's why a mantra is so good, because of that repetition. And it's anytime you find yourself in a place that is difficult, going into a mantra can put you into that vibration that can help you get out of it.
Yes, it's true, absolutely. A mantra can change our physical condition of living. And we can't say that we have done a through change in our consciousness until the physical conditions of our life have changed. Because consciousness and body are two faces of the same reality. Yeah. And yes, and the mantra can change both.
So, or for a lot of people that are physically in pain, you know, a lot of disease we have today comes from dis-ease. You know, when our body is uneasy with itself, when our mind is uneasy with itself, if you change the mind and raise that vibration, it trickles all the way through every cellular structure in the body and eases it, doesn't it? Because a lot of the diseases out there are from this dis-ease of not being at ease with oneself.
Yes, yes, of course. And in such a way, with this interpretation, we can easily understand that disease are not enemies. They are calling us to change our way of living, to change our perspective, to open our heart. And so most of the time, illnesses are not enemies. They are allies, but we have to change our perspective to see them for what they are.
And not become prisoners of them, right? You know, I mean, sometimes all we need in life is a damn good hug. You know, that's why having animals and being around nature is so important, because as you walk in the forest or down a street of trees, those leaves are rustling, they're speaking to you. You know, those branches are swaying, they're sharing that energy with you. Nature is always there to feed you. And if you are feeling distressed, get out amongst nature or amongst animals or young children, and they will shift that perspective and help you get back onto that track of, I needed that loving hug.
Yes. So we can do a lot by staying in nature, because nature is the best teacher for us. Beauty is the best teacher for us, because beauty is a poetry, is willingness to love. Beauty is impermanence, evanescence. If you think at a flower is beauty, is beautiful because it's impermanent. If you think at a flower that never ends, it's a plastic flower. It's not beauty anymore.
So, exactly, not real.
Not real. Evanescence, impermanence is a component of beauty. So when we are in nature, we are in beauty. We can melt our fear of impermanence, of evanescence. And this is why nature is so helpful to us, because help us to melt fears, which is our most important obstacle.
Yeah, the crippling one. Yeah, I mean, I like that, the impermanence of it. Nature has 4 seasons. You know, things bloom, they're beautiful, and then they die. And then they come back again at the next, the season. We have seasons, and it's okay to have things die. So something renewed can come. We can't grow beauty within us if we're living in a fermentation of anger and fear and hate. Beauty can't grow in there. Love can't grow in there. So we have to detoxify. We have to let go and make sure that our soil inside, the heart and the soul, is purified so that love can grow.
Yes, absolutely. And seasons
Yes.
teach us that everything is circular. Spring, summer, winter, autumn, spring, summer, winter, autumn, spring, summer,
Yeah.
winter, autumn. There is not a beginning, there is not an end. You see, everything is circular. Time is circular.
Yes.
The linear time is a mind.
Yes. Yes. Yes, but we've become slave to the 24 hours a day and what we should do in it at what particular time of day, instead of, again, of allowing what the day wants you to do, which doesn't mean that you don't have to follow certain structures because, yes, roof overhead and you have a job, but it's also to be spontaneous, isn't it? And just to get out there and go, it's so beautiful out there today. I want to get out and go and experience it. And don't be afraid to experience life and the beauty and the chaos and the order, because that's the beauty of nature. Wherever there's chaos, there's always beauty that comes out of it.
Absolutely. We can live at a higher level of intensity.
Yeah.
One of us can live at a higher level of intensity. And being alive is not a consequence of being born.
Right. Good one. Yes.
Being alive is an achievement.
Yes.
And we can achieve this state, being alive, at a different level of intensity.
Yeah.
You see, the more we melt fear, the more we can feel ourselves alive. So we have absolutely to trust, to melt fear and live our life fully.
And we can do that by getting your book and all your other books as well, but getting into that rhythm of the mantra, getting into that flow, because we have to understand energy is in constant flow. The wind, the blood, the oxygen is in constant flow. So we need to get into a flow, into a rhythm if we want to change anything. So how can people find your book and all your other books, and also find you?
People can find the Mother Mantra on Amazon, and they can find me through my website, scw.academy, or through Facebook, Selene Calloni Williams on Facebook or on Instagram. And they can write to me, or through my website, they can have access to many different webinars, which are free actually, and they can learn a lot without spend a single penny, without do any effort. By staying in their home, they can practice and doing a lot of beautiful experience. through the webinars which are on my website.
Which is, webinars are beautiful because it's that extension. It's like an orchestra. Each person brings their instrument to the orchestra, and that, that wisdom just grows and grows and grows into a crescendo. For people that are listening and not looking at the YouTube here or on the blog, I'm going to spell your name. So then go to www.Selene, which is Selene, Calloni, Calloni, Williams, WILLIAMS.com. So Selene with an E, not an A, CalloniWilliams.com. And you'll find everything there. And, I think, Christmas is coming. And I think it's always, what do you buy someone as a gift? And something meaningful is wonderful. And if you know somebody right now that's going through a redirection or in some anxiety right now, which, having just done a few shows on global stress and global depression, there are many, many people going through anxiety right now. And I think a book like this, The Mother Mantra, is a beautiful gift to give, because you have to understand, when that person gets into that beautiful vibration, when they have risen up to that state of love, they ripple out that love to everyone around them. So it's a gift not only to them, but to everyone that they then are around afterwards. So it's a Christmas gift that keeps on giving. So think about it, folks. Something meaningful to give for Christmas, and go and look at all her other books there as well. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us, Selene. This has been beautiful.
Thank you to you, Sara. It was a really pleasure to talk with you. And I hope to...
Somebody so dedicated but so well balanced. You're not just all Eastern or Western. You've managed to marry together all of these philosophies and understandings and put it together in a way that is usable and adaptable and adoptable. And that's something that we're looking for. We want to change, but very often it's like, but it's so difficult. So having something simple like mantras that you just keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it, and then you'll find that whole vibration will start filling you up. You'll feel your core start warming up, your body straighten up, and then you go, wow, this is really working. Keep on doing it and just see how it changes your life. So thank you so much, Selene, for being with us here today and sharing your wonderful lifetime wisdom and doing it with such love and such grace.
Thank you to you, Sara, and thank you, everybody, to all the listeners. Thank you.
And don't forget, you can find the whole blog here with everything written on it on selfdiscoverymedia.com, and Selene Calloni Williams, just put in her name and everything will come up. Until next time, folks, don't forget, be kind to yourself. You want to embrace the love, so find the means to do so. And Selene has presented you with one. Until next time, folks, bye-bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show and were inspired. Come and visit us at selfdiscoverymedia.com and see what other shows we have for you. And please do visit our selfdiscoverycommunity.org and see how you can be a part of giving back. Thank you very much.